Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I am talking about the year 2023. We are wrapping it up. The Cheers and Jeers. I saw that in a magazine a long time ago and I've always remembered it. Basically, it means the best and the worst of 2023. And I wanted to do that here with my vinyl releases that I purchased and that I knew about. Obviously, I cannot cover everything, but I do want to talk about what I considered the best and the worst releases of 2023, the Cheers and the Jeers. So let's go ahead and get started with what I would call a definite cheer. Came out in January, made a lot of people very happy. The Rolling Stones in mono, and this was the colored vinyl version. This one had come out several years before on black vinyl. It was incredibly expensive because it was out of print, and thankfully it got a repress. Now they were a little clever because the black vinyl was a limited edition and they made another limited edition using colored vinyl. I happen to have both box sets. No difference in sound quality, but a huge difference in price because the black vinyl versions on the secondary market were going for $500, $600, $700. I know when I see prices like that, I don't even let myself go there. It's just too much money. But thankfully, these colored vinyl versions went for around the same price as the black vinyl versions. There was maybe a little markup, I'm not even sure. It was just a great release, a great start to the year, and I cannot show that without celebrating another Rolling Stones release, Hackney Diamonds. Mine is the St. Louis Cardinals version because you know how variants are these days. They had, for every Major League Baseball team, they had to have a record. This is really good, and you know, I think the mark of a very good album is something when it first comes out, you feel excitement for, you play it, you put it away. If you get a craving to pull it back out and play it again a week later, 2 weeks, whatever, you know you have a hit. And that's kind of what's been going on for me with Hackney Diamonds. I love it. The Rolling Stones are having an amazing year. They're going to go on tour next year. I only wish they were going to be closer to me. So that was really cool, the Rolling Stones in 2023. Here's another thing that was so exciting here in 2023. Record Store Day in April. Now we could all maybe talk a little differently about the Black Friday version as far as what the list looked like, but I think most of us agree Record Store Day in April for 2023 was amazing. There was something for everyone. Here are a couple of my favorite releases. Van Halen Live right here, right now. A tremendous release. It was pricey. That's one of those things I would say. Jeers too, the Record Store Day prices. You know, this cost over, I don't even remember. I think it was over $100 or around the $100 mark. But I love it. Mastered by Bernie Grundman, Van Halen. This is the Sammy live album, so if you're a Dave person, this is not for you, but if you love both like I do, this was a great release for Record Store Day. Here's another great one, Bill Evans' Treasures on the Elemental Music label. It was absolutely fantastic. I love what Elemental Music is doing with Chet Baker, with Bill Evans, with John Lee Hooker. Record Store Day was fantastic. We also had great releases from Stevie Nicks, Duran Duran. So much to be happy for Record Store Day. So 2023, Record Store Day was great. Okay, so these are, what I'm going to show now, are a great set of reissues. And, you know, as a vinyl collector, I flip through records and I see the old versions of these, and they catch my eye. But I didn't know the music, and usually they're not in great condition. So we got a great set of reissues here this year, and I'm talking about the Meters. And this particular album that I bought is Struttin', and I really enjoy it. It was such a breath of fresh air. A lot of great organ playing, guitar playing. There's some funk. Art Neville sings on here, and he has that Aaron Neville vibe to him. So I immediately thought, is this Aaron Neville? It's Art Neville singing some great songs on here. But not every song has singing. There's some that are just musical and instrumental. I saw Bob Bradley talk about these reissues on his channel, and I got intrigued because, like I said, I've always seen this record out there, and I've always been curious, what is this? So I played it. I played on YouTube to hear it, and I bought this. This is from Jackpot Records. My particular copy is the Newberry exclusive on yellow vinyl. It's really cool, and it sounds really great. It was mastered by Kevin Gray. No complaints here. This is a great reissue series, so one of the best of 2023 in my opinion. Here is another one that I think is fantastic, the Blue Note series. You all know the Tone Poets, the classic series. I have not been able to buy all of them. Unfortunately, there's just too many releases out there that I want and I feel like I need, and I've let some go. This is one I didn't let go, and for me, this is one of the best releases of the year. And you all let me know what your favorite Tone Poet is of the year or classic series. This is Andrew Hill, Dance with Death. Now, do not pay attention to the title. It sounds like it would be really, really bad. It is a great, great record. It sounds fantastic. Andrew Hill, I have such a love for jazz pianists. He's great. Now, the people he plays with, I don't really know a lot of them. They're not a big name. It doesn't matter. This is one of my favorite Tone Poets of the year. And I'm also so glad that some of the reissues, like Chet Baker Sings and Cornbread by Lee Morgan, got reissued, or got repressed, I should say. So, overall, that was a great release, and Tone Poets, the classic series, you can't really go wrong. Here is another great one from the classic series, and it involves Third Man Records. Donald Byrd, Electric Byrd. This is a phenomenal record. It sounds amazing. I ended up getting the blue version, the independent record store version. It sounds absolutely wonderful. It's so pretty. This is a hard record to find an original of. So I'm so glad that Third Man and Blue Note got together and put this one out. And I want this one to be a cheer because unfortunately, there's going to be some Jeers coming up, and I'll explain that here in a little bit. Here is another great series that came out this year, and it's making a lot of people very, very happy. The 75th anniversary of Atlantic Records. And I love that Analogue Productions got involved. And here is the one and only I've bought so far. I'm not going to buy them all. I am going to buy a few, select here and there. This is Phil Collins' Face Value. And I've already gotten rid of my original copy. This one beats it. It's not even close. You know, that In the Air Tonight, that drum explosion is so fantastic. And every single song on here sounds great. So there's going to be a lot to look forward to in the next year. But this announcement about the 75th anniversary for Atlantic Records was a highlight for sure. And I know a lot of people are really enjoying these releases. Here is something that took us all by surprise. I think it was an amazing repress that came out of nowhere. And suddenly a $300 record on the secondary market became $60 all over again. And I know that's still a lot of money, but when you consider if you wanted to buy this record, you had to pay $300 for $60, it's a steal. And I'm talking about the repress of Miles Davis' Bitches Brew, the 45 RPM 2LP set from Mobile Fidelity. They put out some of the Miles Davis releases as repress, like the In a Silent Way came back out. I didn't expect that. I didn't know that was coming. So I was pleasantly surprised. I immediately ordered that. Money well spent, because I've been wanting to have that one. And now I'm only lacking one Miles Davis Mobile Fidelity record, and as soon as it is back in for a repress, I will grab that one and have my Miles Davis Mobile Fidelity collection complete. So that was absolutely exciting. And another thing while I'm talking about Mobile Fidelity, here's another really great one that I say cheers to. Bruce Springsteen's Asbury Park. This is the 1 LP, 33 RPM version, and I've already gotten rid of my original, just like the Phil Collins. I've gotten rid of the original because this one was such an improvement. I love this record, and I'm hopeful that there's more Bruce Springsteen releases to come that are like this. That's kind of exciting. I also want to point out that this box set, this box, the way it is done, this thin box, I believe this is the way of the future for the Mobile Fidelity One Steps. I'm excited about that. I liked the big boxes too. I like the symmetry of the big boxes, and they look beautiful on the shelves. They did take up a lot of room though. It was a little harder to get to the records, and Mobile Fidelity listened to their customers. And I believe in the future, with a lot of future releases, we're going to be seeing this skinnier box. Stay tuned, it'll be interesting to see. Here's another fantastic release from Mobile Fidelity, Hotel California, a standout. Now, we're still waiting on the long run, and I would guess for symmetry reasons, they're going to keep this same box set for that release and not move on to the skinnier box. This was a huge triumph. It's the best I've ever heard Hotel California sound. It's one of their best one-steps of all time. Krieg Wunderlich knocked it out of the park, and it's a huge triumph. So now we're going to move on to one that I call a cheer that other people would call a jeer. It depends on maybe your age, your acceptance of the changes. And I'm talking about the Beatles. I made a video talking about this, and I really like it. It's remixes done by Giles Martin. The red LP I prefer, yes, and I think he's done a really great job on those early songs with the remixes. I like the Rubber Soul songs. I thought they sounded great too. Now, I know a lot of people weren't happy about this, the I Am the Walrus debacle. Oh, that was huge, and we've all talked about it. I thought that song sounded flat. A lot of people were really mad that they changed the song at the end. I get it, you know, the Beatles knew best. And that's not the way they wanted that one. They chose a different ending, and I get it that people are mad that things got changed. So if you are a first generation Beatles fan and you listen to those originals over and over again, these sound very weird to you. If you're someone who came in a little later, a little younger like me, they sound pretty good, and I'm happy with them. So it's a mixed bag with the Beatles. It's a cheers and a jeers. For me, I give it a cheers. Let me know how you feel about it, because I really want to hear what other people are saying. Here's another cheers, and then I'm going to move on to the jeers, the ones that we thought were terrible this year, at least I did. Let's talk about another really good one. The Asia UHQR. Now, I admit, I got this one after hearing so many reviews about how absolutely fantastic, unbelievable, perhaps the best record ever made kind of reviews. And I got it, and because of everybody just raving about it, I was just like, huh, okay, yeah, it sounds really good. You know, that happens sometimes. You hear something is so good. It's like, take for a movie, for example. You think, oh, you hear everybody saying it's the best movie I've ever seen. You have to hear it. And then, or you have to see it. And then you go see it and it's like, well, it's not the best. That's what this is for me. I actually think it is a solid UHQR, worth every penny. Is it the best record I've ever heard? No, it's not for me. But it is definitely a highlight. A great UHQR, and for everybody who loves Steely Dan and the album Asia, it's the definitive copy of Asia. I will say that. Is it the best record of all time? I think not. That's just my opinion. You can fight me in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Now, I've talked and praised Analogue Productions for their 75th anniversary, the UHQRs. This is probably a cheers for me, but a jeers to a lot of people. It's a cheers because I didn't buy it. And I'm talking about the UHQR of Steely Dan's Pretzel Logic. I know nothing about that release. I have not heard the UHQR. I've just been told by watching videos it was a huge disappointment. I don't know. You all let me know in the comments. To me, that was the worst reviewed record of the year that I heard. So now let's go ahead and talk about another one. Going back, now I just talked and sung the praises of Electric Byrd by Donald Byrd. The 313 series where Third Man Records and Blue Note got together. They put the best of Detroit performances out there. Grant Green. This is a great one. You guys, Grant Green does no wrong. He was fantastic. And this, no doubt, is a great performance. The reason why I'm putting it on the Jeers is because I'm so used to hearing amazing sounding records from Blue Note, and this is average at best. I do love the vinyl. It's a pretty green. For Grant Green, I think that's great. But if you look carefully at like the inner spindle, I don't know if you can see that. There's like green gook stuck in it, and there's green gook stuck kind of on the label. So it's pretty, but it's messy. And it doesn't sound great. Great performance by Grant Green. Love Grant Green. But this was a little bit of a disappointment sound quality wise. So I put that on my Jeers list because, like I said, I'm so spoiled to Blue Note bringing me great sounding music. Here is another one. Now, I like the album Elvin Jones, Genesis. No complaints about the album itself. And it even sounds pretty good. But I paid extra for probably the ugliest record I have in my entire collection. What is this? You know, it looks like someone spilt mustard on it. It's not pretty. Third Man Records puts out very cool looking records. When they do splatter or they do something unique, they do it right. This looks like, you know what? My daughter was a better artist when she was 2 years old. I was going to say it looked like something my daughter would have done when she was a kid. No, my daughter was better than this. This is the ugliest record I have in my collection. I paid extra money for the yellow splatter. So big jeers to me on that. Otherwise, you know, I love the Blue Note and I love jazz. So here is another one that great release, a rare record. I'm thrilled to have it in my collection. I just wished it sounded better. This is The Awakening by the Ahmad Jamal Trio. This is the Verve By Request version. Let me pull this out of here so there's not a glare. The music is absolutely gorgeous. I want more Ahmad Jamal in my collection. A lot of his older records are hard to find in clean condition. I was so excited to see this one get a repress or a reissue and a remaster, but I'm disappointed with the sound quality. Great performance, just okay sound. Now, I'm not saying it sounds bad. I'm just not, it just doesn't sound as good as a lot of my jazz records do. That's all I'm really saying about that. Here is one more jeer. It is a cheer for me because I love it. But for a lot of you, this was a huge complaint this year. Huge. And I'm talking about a UHQR that I personally love. This is a Love Supreme. It sounds wonderful. I did not own the 33 RPM version that had already been out that most people own. So I was more than happy to buy this version of it, but so many people were so disappointed with this and they were hoping for a different release. I know we've all been hoping for Led Zeppelin UHQRs or One Steps or just something else. Most people are very happy with what they already have with A Love Supreme by John Coltrane. I saw this coming as a UHQR. It's probably one of those Mount Rushmore records in the jazz department. If you listen to Chad Kassem in his interviews enough, you could figure out that was coming out as a UHQR. So I just waited around for this to come out, and it's fantastic. But it's a jeer here in the vinyl community because everybody already had it. They didn't want to pay. You know, that's the problem. Some of these box sets are so expensive. $150, another $10 for shipping. You got to add another $10 for tax, and you're up to $170. And that's just if you're blessed to be here in the United States, because it's so much more expensive everywhere else. And people are very choosy of what they're spending those big bucks on now. That's just the way it is at this point. So I love A Love Supreme, the UHQR, and I think there's been overall amazing releases this year, and it's not over yet. So these are my cheers and jeers for 2023. Let me know where I got it right. Let me know where I got it wrong. I love hearing from you. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.